What's good, y'all? So as you can tell by the title of this video, we're gonna have to move forward together with a level of maturity and open-mindedness, all right? Maturity is obvious, you can tell the subject matter. But then open-mindedness, because a lot of people are very much set in their ways. How am I gonna learn from you? It's like, you're Mr. Celibate, you're Mr. Semen Retention. How can you teach me about sex? I got Miss Monday, Miss Tuesday, Miss Wednesday, you can't tell me nothing. I got 4 baby mamas. You know, on the other spectrum, it's like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Dudes be calling me for this. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Congratulations, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but a lot of people are still very ignorant to the mental and spiritual aspects of sex. A lot of people are just stuck on the physical, completely disregarding these other effects that they cannot explain. All I'm saying is, I don't want y'all to stop what y'all doing. I'm just saying, be a little bit more mindful of it. Bring in a little bit more information before you lay down with somebody. And at the very least, let the nerd hang out with the jocks and the cheerleaders at PE. That's all I'm asking. Let me just do your homework for you real quick, and let me be your tutor real quick so you can enhance your game to the next level. Let's look at it like that. With that being said, you know, I am very serious about the ideas that I plan on presenting to you, but y'all know me, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be sprinkling some jokes all the way through this because I got to cover all my bases. I got young people watching me, older people watching me, inexperienced people watching me, experienced people watching me. You know, so let me just nerd out for a little bit, you know. So for those of you that are new to my channel, for those of you that forgot, I practice celibacy, right? I've just seen the young dating world, and it's just messy. It's just messy. It's a whole bunch of immature, ignorant people running around thinking they're grown because they can have sex with whoever they want. You know, I can do whatever I want. I'm grown. We've all said that, you know, and that's what a lot of people think adulthood means. I can have sex with whoever I want, which is true. But you probably shouldn't, and a lot of you can probably attest that there's some bodies that you're not proud of. There's certain things that you're like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? That's all I'm saying, you know? So for me personally, it's like I found myself in this game. Like I walked into the club, I walked into the bar, and I didn't know what I was doing. I walked in, I was just like, but you think that's okay to say that? But you want that, but you're advertising, but you've seen it, huh? Hold up, man. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. So what I did is like I backed out. And at first, you know, I said I just took myself out of the game because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I got put on the bench. But I took myself off of the bench, and now I'm just in the skybox, getting like just taking my notes and let's be like, oh, why are you doing that? That was freaky. Oh shit, I'm gonna leave that one for myself in the back of my head. You know what I'm saying? But I really like took the path of celibacy to really get a better understanding of what sex meant to me. A lot of people like for men, it's just like, you know, like as many women as you can have sex with, that's what makes you a man. For women, a lot of women use sex as ego, as to boost their ego, to get attention, you know, that type of stuff, to feel valuable. And these are very low level ways to utilize such a beautiful thing. I'm just saying that maybe we should all take a step back and take in some new information about this thing that we thought we knew everything about, you know? It's like no one knows everything about anything. You know, there's always something new to learn, and let the nerd that's getting absolutely none, let the nerd whose phone is drier than the Sahara Desert help some of you out. Let me help out the jocks and the cheerleaders real quick. Not only do I practice celibacy, but I practice semen retention. I think tomorrow, June 1st, 2022, will mark 2 years with me practicing semen retention. Once again, that's not a goal of mine. It's just, you know, once again, I've learned too much about what we call sex and fornication, procreation, all that type of stuff. And I still have much, much more to learn. But I cannot lay down with a woman, you know, without having that mutual understanding of what it is that we are getting into. You feel me? You know, it's like, once again, I saw a lot of the ignorance. I saw a bunch of children running around just fucking each other, quite literally. And we're going to get to that, you know, and that's why for me, it's just like, I'm just waiting for suitable candidates. I don't have to be married. I don't even have to be in a serious relationship, but suitable candidates that know what's going on, know what they want, know what they're getting out of this, know what is actually happening between us, a very mature adult way of fornication. All right. That's why I'm doing what I do. But in the meantime, I'm just making myself better. With that being said, I do believe that there's a difference between sex, fucking, and procreation. Now for this video, we're going to focus a little bit more on the I guess like the fucking and procreation kind of merge. It's like it's step 1, step 2, step 3, and then there's step 1, and then like subsection 1.1, 2.1, 2.5, 3. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna focus more so on sex and fucking. Okay. This was all inspired by a lecture by Dick Gregory, and it wasn't something he was focusing on, but he kind of just threw it out there, and it's something that I haven't been able to Google. But he's someone that I trust when he speaks. And he said that the original use, or the original definition, if you will, for the word fucking, was to simply go in and out in regards to machinery, in regards to mechanical equipment, for something to go in and out, which makes sense why it is applied to the term fucking, right? Now, first off, we're going to talk about what I'm starting to define sex to be, or at least what we call sex, right? There could be a whole nother word I'll learn in 5 years, but nevertheless, this might get a little vulnerable. This might get a little TMI, too much information moment, but it's why I think the way I do. In my first relationship, when neither one of us really knew what we were doing when it came to sex, it's like there were certain times where, and I'm speaking more so to people in relationships or committed sexual partners or whatever. There was a time where like there'd be certain times where it's like, yes, you want to have sex. You're in a couple, you just want to have sex. By bing, by boom, you do what you do. But then there's certain times where it's like you want to feel connected, and you want that bonding, you want that physical sensation, but you don't feel like fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that we just innately just did sometimes is like, you just insert. Inserting the penis into the vagina is what I consider sex. Just the insertion. Just establishing the physical connection. And let me make a little bit more sense. Let the words come to me. All right, so like charging your phone, plugging the USB into the phone. That's it. There's sex. You're not plugging your USB over and over into your phone. You're not doing this. So literally plugging in the USB into your iPhone, into your Android, into your whatever. That itself is sex. Now, why do I say that? Because what I found out was in that relationship, I started to actually favor that interaction more than the actual fucking, if you will, right? Because there was something different happening with it, because I found it to be a lot more interesting. You're just laying there. See, a lot of us are moving too fast. The second you in, you ready to go. Yeah. Like caveman shit. But it's like, one of the things that I know is hindsight being 20/20, of course, is like it was quite literally a physical connection. And it was one of those things where I realized like there'd be times we would just be watching TV, watching movies, and we were both like enthralled in the movie. Like we were legitimately watching the movie, but we were quite literally connected. But then in the back of like the back of my head, before I like understood what my intuition was and stuff, it just felt like we were having a conversation. Because we were quite literally connected with one another. There was now a bridge from her into me, from me into her, that was exchanging energies. So we were quite literally communicating on a higher level, but neither one of us were at the level to completely perceive that, right? That's just how I see it. There's a connection that is being established. That is sex, right? And we'll circle around to other conversations if other things pop into my head. But then there's the next term, which is fucking, right? Which is the actual, the actual making it clap, the actual stirring the macaroni. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't understand that analogy, stirring the macaroni, what does that sound like? Okay, cool. Now, all right. So that's the actual fucking, the going in and out, right? But when I tried to Google what Dick Gregory meant by that the original use of that, because I wanted to go verify it for myself, I couldn't find exactly what he was saying. But I did come across a couple of interesting facts before I get into those. Black men, or so-called black men, it's like, I know other people say it too, but it came for us. When you were talking to your boys, when you're talking to the fellas, and you're like, yo, I'm trying to link up with Shorty, blah, blah, blah. Hey, yo, you tried to do this? Man, nah, I don't like her like that. I'm just trying to hit. There's a reason why we use certain words, and it all just unveils itself naturally. Because when you Google the word, that's men. Well, let me get ahead of myself. And then women, it's like, don't get me wrong, if you give praise to the man that did what he had to do, or if you just talking to your girls, girl, he beat that shit up. You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all know the conversations y'all be having. I don't know the details because I ain't y'all, but nevertheless, you know, you've said these things. I've heard them said. They've been said. I've been around the situation. I got my own flowers. Thank you. But like, you know, it's one of those things where it's the truth is always in the middle. The truth is always there, but we have so much stuff clouding us from the truth. When you actually look up what the word like fucking means, like the word fuck, you realize that it literally means to hit. It means to strike. When you get into like the Swedish dialects, it literally means to fist, and depending on what you watching and what you into, you know what I'm saying? But then also too, it means also to, it comes from the word to breed. I forgot exactly what it meant. But then also too, in the Germanic language, there's like this word, like, you know, when you're not, like when kids are on TV or you're around children, it's like when they don't want to curse, when like a young child around you can't curse and they can't just say, fuck, you know, what do they say? Frick, and frickin' A, man, frick. Well, frick is the German Germanic, whatever, the German word for fuck. It could be ficken or frickin', but nevertheless, it's, I Googled it. You can Google it yourself. You'll see it. But nevertheless, it's like, that's literally what it means. So we're using the same words all the time. We're using the words everywhere. It's just, but then when you apply all of that understanding, you then it starts to become a little bit more clear that fucking is different from sex. Yes, one leads into the other. One is very similar. One is similar to the other. There is some overlap, but there is a distinction, right? That is why, like, especially when you're getting into higher levels of understanding of sex, they say sex is sexual energy exchange. Sex is communication. Sex is literally connecting to one another. Well, it makes more sense with that one. It's like this. You can't drive the car till you get in it. Sex is literally getting into the car. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't doing nothing. You're just in the car. Then when you put your foot on the gas and you making the engine rev up, you know, you start to get into the heat of the passionate moments, you know, you doing that thing, you know, you got your little appointments and stuff. Then that's when the engine gets revved up. That's when your heart starts beating. That's when you start to literally create the stuff. And I don't know what the third step of that would be, procreation, but I don't know, a baby Honda comes out. I don't freaking know. You get to your end destination. You get to the end. Oh, yeah, there we go. You get to the end. You get to your final destination until it's over. That trip is over until you get back in the car and you rev up the engine and you go again. You see what I'm saying? You know, like making a meal. It's like if you just like have all the ingredients there, okay, I prepared all the ingredients, they're there. But you gotta chop it up, you gotta stir it, you know, you gotta do all that type of stuff. So there's like getting in the car, driving, getting to your end destination. There's sex, which is literally the insertion, the connection has been established. Then there's the actual fornication, the actual making it clap, you know, throwing that dick, busting it wide open, all the above and all the etceteras, doing the naughty, doing the nasty, all right? And then there's the end, and you know how the end works, and then 9 months later, a baby should pop out, or someone just got some very good skincare. Anyway, or a good nap afterwards. I covered all my bases with that one, you know, but like, if you really go back, let's take it back to step one. When it comes to sex, right? Look at it like this, you know, we can transmit information wirelessly. If you're having a conversation with someone, you could tell, like, for example, if someone's lying to you. So, were you fucking that bitch? Were you fucking that bitch? You know what I'm saying? You know what you girls be doing? Man, nah, I won't do nothing with her. I mean, FedEx always calls me at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, where you at, daddy? FedEx always texts me with that information. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Just even though you said one thing, that true energy is still being projected to the other person. They can interpret that one way. Now imagine having that same type of conversation, because you know, like, that crazy shit be coming out when you in the thralls of passion. But before you get to that point, imagine having a legitimate conversation where you're facing one another, you're inserted, you're literally connected, and then you have a conversation eye to eye. The eyes are the windows to the soul. You know, and it's like the first thing people do when they have sex is they turn around and they look away from one another. You know, don't get me wrong, it's part of the positions, you know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at that. But I'm just saying, like, when you put it into perspective like that, so wait a minute, before you get into all of that, how about y'all bond, communicate while you are quite literally connected? You know, it's like, you know, back in the day, now all of our phones are wireless. Now you just have a cord phone. and you are quite literally connected to one another. So why don't you use this opportunity to grow and to bond? Use sex the way it was meant, the way that it was originally intended. Then when you're trying to do the other stuff, then you move on into quote, quote, fucking. Then you get into the fornication, all right? And then procreation. That's just the end. But then, and I guess I'll throw a semen retention plug in there. A lot of couples, y'all will be, a lot of women especially, I want to use this opportunity to promote semen retention to women. As in, you should promote your man to want to do this type of thing. I get it, y'all been programmed a certain type of way. But if you're tired of your man not being able to give you multiple rounds, well, maybe you should learn how you guys should work together on building his endurance so he doesn't feel the need to ejaculate. So whenever you want it, he's ready all the time. And some of y'all already have that problem. The dude can nut 18,000 times and blah, 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 and you get annoyed with it. But you know what I'm saying, for those of you, if it don't apply, let it fly. But anyway, it's like, these are the things that I'd be thinking about, and it's just like, what if that's the case? I mean, did that not make sense with that one? It's like, sex is literally the connection. Fucking is the going in and out. It's the striking. It's beating it down. And then procreation. I'm sure there's some more thoughts I could have had with that one, but I hope that made sense. It made sense to me, in all honesty. And now I'm starting to like think about things at a deeper, even in an even deeper level. But let me know your thoughts on this. Once again, if you never thought about this before in your life, let me know. If you've had similar thoughts to this, let me know. If you think I'm crazy and I'm just like a horny bastard whose phone is drier than the Sahara Desert, let me know. It's like, because all of which could be possibly true. Till next one, y'all. Peace.